I always preach about making to-do lists here because to-do lists are just one of the most effective ways to be productive on a day-to-day basis. I use to-do lists, or at least I try to use to-do lists every single day just to help me stay productive, because to-do lists will help you kind of see clearly what you have to do, all the tasks that you need to complete, all the goals that you have for the day. But there's one thing to make to-do lists, there's a whole other thing to follow the list and finish everything that you've written down that you want to do. It's not easy. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't, sometimes I go halfway, and there's something very satisfying about coming to the end of the day and you're checking off everything that you've written and you've seen that you've done everything or you've done some. It doesn't matter if you've struggled before now, because in this video I'll be sharing my entire process, my very simple process on how I make my to-do list and how I follow them and how they help me stay productive every single day. If this is the first time you're seeing my content and my face, hi, my name is Sky. Welcome to my channel. Over here I make content around creativity, lifestyle and productivity. So if you like this video and you like the other things you're seeing on the channel, please subscribe. All right, the very first thing I'll tell you about to-do list is that you need to keep it short and simple. Whether you use your phone or use a notepad like I do, the entire point of to-do list is for you to have a little bit of a simple, accessible tool that will help you be clear on what you have to do each day and for you to accomplish the set goals. All right, so keeping it simple, keeping it short. I personally don't like to have more than 4 or 5 things on my to-do list every single day. Doesn't mean that I can't do more, it doesn't mean that I have to finish all the 5, but keeping it to 4 and 5 visually looks simple and it kind of makes me think that it's achievable. There's no point filling your to-do list with like 10-20 items when you know that's not possible, or if your day is too busy, or you might just find yourself overwhelmed if you have to track so many items that you have to accomplish. But if you have 4 or 5 things, it just sounds and kind of seems doable. So I advocate that you keep your to-do list simple and short every single day. Choose the major task you have, be it 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it at the top of the list, and then you can add other small items as you go. Take today, for example. I'm going to leave my lists on the screen so you can see what I've written. I didn't have so much to do today. The making YouTube videos was like the major thing that I had to do today. The other small tasks are follow up on clients that I'm trying to book for jobs, and of course looking after what I do on social media, like my business page on social media. So I didn't have a lot to do. But even on days where I have like much more busier days, I try to keep it simple. I make sure that I keep my major tasks on the list and other things can just be on the side. Now there are so many apps and digital tools that you can use, but for me I feel like a pen and paper just does the job. There's something satisfying about writing out what I want to do and then marking and ticking it off as I go, and at the end of the day I know I'm seeing like a physical copy of my accomplishment, so to speak. But if apps and your phone note app is what you prefer, you can go ahead and do it. All that matters is that you make to-do lists and they help you stay productive. But for me, I feel like pen and paper is the best to do this. The next tip to make your to-do list work for you, and this I don't do it all the time, but when I have specific tasks that I want to accomplish, sometimes it helps to block out time slots for those tasks. Let's say, for example, I want to create YouTube videos like I'm doing today. I can set out, okay, I'm going to start shooting at 12 o'clock and end at 3. This kind of makes me know that not only do I have a specific task that I want to accomplish, there's a time limit that I've given myself. During that time, I kind of block out other things. I know I'm not going to go on social media. I know I might not respond to messages. I know I have those 2-3 hours to shoot that video. You don't have to do this, but if you want to take it a notch, a little bit higher, try and set out specific time slots to achieve each single task on your to-do list. You don't have to follow it and adhere very strictly, but having some sort of a time stamp or a time set out for those tasks kind of helps. The next tip on using to-do list is to mark and tick off the task as you do them, because if you have 4 or 5 tasks on your to-do list every day, as you're doing each one, if you take some time to mark off or kind of check off each of the tasks, every time you look at your list you see that they are beginning to reduce. It kind of further gives you a boost mentally to see that yes, you are making some progress, as opposed to when you don't take off the items as you go. Some people prefer to leave their to-do list to the end of the day to check off everything, but I feel like ticking off the items as I do them kind of helps me visually and also mentally. My next tip for using to-do list is to review it at the end of each day. I do this, and I like this idea because not only will you see if you've ticked off everything that you intended to do, it kind of helps you see that you have or you haven't. If there are any tasks that have been undone or incomplete, you can see it visually. There's something that happens to your brain. I don't know for other people, but for me, I feel like if I see my list and they're all ticked off or they're not all ticked off, it gives me a much more clearer view on how I've been productive or not productive for the day. So I advocate that you review your to-do list at the end of each day. To go a step further, at the end of the week, for example, I can look at the entire 4, 5, 6 working days that I've had, and that kind of gives me like a broader view. So you can compare day to day how productive you were for the week or not productive, and it kind of helps you know where you should do better or not do better. There's sometimes you find that some tasks you couldn't do them for whatever reason. You can make side notes like beside each task. That kind of helps you know where to pick up from the next day. For me, if there are tasks that I didn't complete the previous day, I can kind of carry them over to the next day, which is where that review is very, very important. So I advocate that you review your to-do list at the end of the day and also at the end of the week, just so that you can see where you are at and track your progress. If you find yourself struggling to complete your to-do list each day, I advise that you follow these little steps. They will help you reduce the number of tasks you have to do, because like I said, you don't have to put like 20 tasks on your to-do list. 4, 5 tasks, I feel like it does it if you know what you're doing. If you need to increase, of course, some days will be more than the others and some days will be less. You find that over time you won't feel guilty if you have just 2 things to do every day, and if you have 5, 6, 7, 10 things to do, you'll also feel overwhelmed because everything is clear and you know that you can accomplish them as you go every day. There's no pressure, there's no shame. There's some days that I go like 3, 4, 5 days and I find that there's no day that I've been able to complete my to-do list as my task for each day, and I kind of feel bad. But again, I prefer to see it visually and see that I didn't do so well on XYZ day, and then I can do better the next day. So yeah, this to-do list kind of helps me, and I promise it's going to help you stay productive each day. So now that I'm done with that video, I'm going to go and change. I have a couple of more other videos. I don't know if I can do 1 or 2 more, but I know I'll shoot another video today, and then I'll try and make some calls that I have on my to-do list. And yeah, that's how I use my list, and that's what I have for today, and that's how I track my progress as the day goes. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, by the way. Leave me a comment letting me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you use to-do lists, if you don't use them, if you have other apps and tools that help you stay productive every single day. I'd love to read your comments and I'll be responding right there. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe in case you haven't. I'm going to see you in my next video. Let me get on with my day. All right, bye guys.